Week 2 Strong Mom Club. Before we work out today, I want to chat a little bit about pre-workout nutrition. So I ate my pre-workout meal, was my lunch, chicken, sweet potatoes, and veggies. About 2 hours before training. You do want to give yourself at least 1 to 2 hours before you train for a good pre-workout meal. Best tip for pre-workout meal, you want to have protein and carbs to fuel your workout, but you do want to give enough time to let that digest, okay? So pre-post-workout meals, we would like them to be lower in fats. So when I say lower, it's relative to your daily calorie intake, but like for me, I try to keep it like below 10 grams. About 20 to 30 grams of protein, and honestly, for me, about 40 to 50 grams of carbs right now. If you're getting at least 20, that's great. So, had my lunch about 2 hours ago. I'm getting my amino acids ready, and then my post-workout meal will be within an hour from when I finish my training session.
I'm just gonna do what you gotta do.
Okay. All right, Dad, let us know if you need anything. We'll be back. Getting warmed up for today's workouts. We're hitting delts and triceps. Finish with a little bit of abs. I'm gonna hit cardio again today. Week 2, Strong Mom Club. So week into my diet, have not seen any changes on the scale yet. That's totally normal. Again, I'm not going for aggressive weight loss anyways, but we've been consistent, hitting those macros, hitting our workouts, and it just feels good to get started and being on track. So I still got 11 weeks left. Got a lot of changes yet to make. But so far, we're off to a great start. Before we get started, we're hitting mobility. I'm gonna show you all my favorite upper body mobility things. So the first is some internal, external rotations for our rotator cuffs to get things warmed up. So we're gonna do these backwards and forward. I always like to use a band. You can use a dumbbell if needed, but you just wanna hit that elbow at a 90 degree and hit some external rotation. So the goal is you're bringing blood flow to this whole entire rotator cuff. You're gonna feel this all in the back of your shoulder, and you're also going to feel what is tight and what needs a little bit of loosening with the foam roller and the massage ball. So I usually hit 10 external. We're gonna flip around. We're gonna do the same thing, 10 forward. I like to hit 2 sets on each side. Okay, now we're gonna hit the floor. We're basically gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna put one of these lacrosse balls on my rear delt and find what spots were tight, and I'm gonna hit those same rotations. These come in a 2-pack on Amazon for like $8. So I keep one at home. I keep one in my gym bag, but this is the best way you can kind of give yourself a little self-massage, roll around, take some deep breaths into it. And if you can feel the release, it's the best feeling in the world. Okay, then we massage out. My favorite upper body foam roller stretch is little spinal rotations. We're gonna go cross body, kind of tabletop position, pull your spine up to the ceiling, and then exhale and twist to the side. You can go all the way down, but if your upper back's really tight, just stay right here and hang out. Breathe, inhale, pull up, exhale, pull across. Any type of rotational stretch is so good for your spine. Okay, I could stretch all day, but we're gonna get started with our first exercise. Okay, exercise number 1 is a banded front raise. So So if you have a long loop band, that's great. Otherwise, if you have one with the handles, you can use that as well. Just gonna stand on this band, palms facing down, eyes straight ahead, just raising up to your eyeballs and back down until you lose that tension. We're gonna work all this front head of our delt right here. Inhale as you lower, exhale, and lift. The goal with shoulders is you have the front head, medial head, rear head. So this exercise in particular is working the front and medial. So that's why every shoulder day, you're trying to just hit all three parts of that delt muscle. Okay, second exercise is a dumbbell front raise. I am gonna go a little bit heavier on this exercise. Downside of wearing a watch on upper body days. But I am gonna put on my Aesthetics wrist wraps. So again, not 100% necessary. I have very weak wrists, and so I like just the extra support to help stabilize my wrists on upper body days. So this is the same movement pattern, but we're using dumbbells, and we're gonna alternate one arm at a time. So in order to prevent swinging like this, we want to control the weight. Every time I alternate single arm movement patterns, I actually try to put all my weight in the opposite leg. So every time I'm working the right arm, I'm trying to push down into my left leg to help stabilize that center of gravity. So we are gonna alternate on these. I am hitting 16 total, so 8 on each side. Resting for about 60 seconds in between these upper body lifts. Catch my breath, let it again. Actually gonna go a little heavier on this last set. Something we have for our home gym, they're called micro gains. They're little 2.5 plates. They're like little Pac-Man. They're awesome. This isn't an ad, I was just influenced by an Instagram ad. So these go on because our gym doesn't have like half sizes. Like I don't have a 17.5 dumbbell. So rather than purchasing a whole new set of dumbbells, I'm just gonna add 2.5 pounds on. If your gym has half sizes, please use them because it's a great way you can improve your strength without sacrificing form. So here we go. Whew. We got 20. Okay, next exercise is gonna be an overhead press. I am using the Smith machine. I like the stability of the Smith machine. That way I'm not overcompensating with one side. The hard part is getting this set up. I don't know why benches are so heavy, but they are. Okay, I want this seat all the way upright. And if you're setting this up on a Smith, make sure you're just far enough back to where you're not gonna hit your nose, but you do want it close to your chest. So this is like a perfect distance right here. I'm gonna rack this here and add on some weight. Last time we talked about RPR muscles, that reflex performance reset. So for your shoulders, there are 2 areas of reflex point that I specifically like to focus on when doing overhead presses. The first is on the side of your ribs right here. If you take your fingers like claws on your rib cage, 45 degrees towards your belly button, this is actually activating all of your shoulder muscles. So you'll feel it too. If you have shoulder problems, typically there's a tight built up spot on these muscles all along your rib cage. I do have breast implants as well, so I have scar tissue under here. So that is something I'll take my little scraper tool and try to work out that scar tissue because it does affect my training. The other reflex point for rotator cuffs is right here. Like if you're wearing a tank top, so if you got a wife beater on, you are rubbing, again, at kind of like a 45-degree angle, all at the front of this shoulder, kind of where the pec attaches to the front of this delt right here, for about 45 to 60 seconds. Just rubbing these out. Those are the reflex points I want you to think about engaging on your overhead press. So it's gonna help with your core control, it's gonna help keep all this stable, and it's gonna help making sure we're activating the actual shoulder muscles we're trying to target. So I'm just gonna get myself set up under here, lower, engage the ribs, engage that rotator cuff activation point, and press up. No matter what exercise, you can start low. You can always add weight on that next set. I would rather you go a little too light on that first set than go a little too heavy and not be engaging the muscles you're trying to hit. So this is an exercise you can obviously modify. You can use dumbbells, you can use a barbell. That's pretty much it. But the beautiful thing about the Smith machine is, again, you're kind of stabilized, so you're not gonna overcompensate one side or the other. Another thing is you do feel a little safer, like when you're going heavy. If it's too heavy and you can't get it up, you can just rack it. Where if you had dumbbells, you might drop them. Still, you know, if you're going really big, you can get a spot. This is also an exercise I could use my weightlifting belt for if you feel like you need a little bit more stabilization, like if you're going really heavy. Today I'm not focused on going super heavy. We're just focused on like really good reps here. Okay, we're hitting our dumbbell rear delt reverse flies. So just like we warmed up with those external rotations, this is an external rotation exercise. What I like to think, top of my spine is being pulled forward toward this front mirror. My tailbone is being pulled back towards the wall behind me. That's gonna help keep my spine really nice and straight and really nice and strong. So I'm pulling both directions, and then I'm pulling up to the ceiling. So this is helping to activate all the muscles along your spine, right? We're going forward, backward, and up. Now with our arms, we're gonna pinch a pencil between those shoulder blades, and you're going to externally rotate, activating all these rear delt muscles. These are gonna activate your lats a little bit as well, but we're working the back of our shoulders. So you do have to go a little bit lighter on these. Typically do these for a little higher reps. So pulling forward, pulling back, pulling up, pinch that pencil between your shoulder blades as you squeeze the back of your shoulders together. Elbows are kind of bent, almost like a W position. Exhale. All right, we're gonna hit a superset. A superset is 2 exercises back to back without resting in between. So we're gonna hit an alternating hammer dumbbell front raise and then some overhead tricep extensions, both with dumbbells. So for the alternating dumbbell hammer raise, we are gonna do both of these seated as well. So just like when I was standing and I'm raising my right arm, I like to push my weight into my left leg, because often you think you're working your right side and you're pushing into your right leg, but your body is all off balance. So in order to keep that center of gravity aligned, we wanna keep lower body weight on the left. So I always think right arm's raising, I'm pushing my left foot down. We're gonna alternate here. We're gonna have a neutral grip, which means our palms are facing in. This is pronated grip, palms down, supinated grip, palms up, neutral grip. So the goal is to work this front head of the delts, and then immediately after we finish our front raises, we're gonna hit some overhead tricep extensions. So I'm a little short, so I have to scoot up on the bench, but 2 hands on the dumbbell, 90 degrees with the triceps, and up to a full extension. I do like to lock out, but keep just a slight bend in the elbows so I'm not being too hard on my joints here. You can use 2 dumbbells for these. I personally like to use 1 because you have a little bit more stability. And depending on the dumbbell you have, you just kind of have to hold it however makes sense for you. After your superset, we're gonna rest for about 60 to 90 seconds in between and do 3 sets total. If you are a woman and you think that lifting heavy weights for your upper body is gonna make you too muscular, you are wrong. It's impossible. Unless you are taking some performance enhancing drugs, your upper body's never gonna look too manly. I promise you that. Let's lift those heavy weights, ladies. Let's go. Very last exercise today is going to be a reverse grip tricep push down. I like to use a straight bar attachment for this. We're just gonna do a reverse grip. So it just helps hit the triceps at a little bit different angle. So palms facing in, elbows squeeze into the side of your rib cage. I don't want any gaps here because then you're cheating. Chest hinge just slightly forward. I mean, you're not bending over, but just not all the way upright. We just want a slight hinge. Exhale, push down, squeeze those triceps back and in, like you're kind of pinching a pencil between your shoulder blades. And then just back up to chest height. We're just gonna exhale, down and back, inhale, pull in. Ending with a little core work today. I personally like to do abs on upper body days because leg days are just too much. So we toss them in an upper body, especially a good shoulder like plank exercise, which is what we're gonna go over today. We're gonna do some plank tucks. So these are another little Amazon find. You can get yourself some sliders. So we are going to do a sliding plank tuck. So we are gonna go ideally in a full plank position here, which is everyone's favorite, I know, but full plank. You want to really push up through your hands and then tuck this pelvis under. So we don't want any arched backs, booties in the air. We don't want any rounded backs either. We want nice, strong and lifted. We're stable. Now we are going to pull those knees in to the chest and slide them back out. Now this is the full exercise. Really amazing core work. If this is too much for you, right? We're gonna modify. So variation down is we can do one leg at a time. So you can pull one leg in, you're stabilizing with that other leg. So kind of like a mountain climber here. If this is still too much, drop down to your elbows, right? And we can do one leg at a time with the elbows. If the sliders are too much, ditch them all together and just focus on a plank tuck. So we're keeping our feet static and we're just going to tuck the pelvis, relax. Tuck the pelvis, relax. We can pop it up to our hands. And then of course, as you get stronger, you can toss these in your gym bag, get them for yourself at home, and add that extra strength for your core. Okay, because I have this machine, I'm gonna show you a very Pilates-esque way to do those same plank tuck variations. Honestly, I have seen moms do this with like their kids' like toy truck or anything with wheels. If you have like a row machine where the seat moves, you can use the rowing machine. So basically just put your feet on anything that moves. Again, it can be a toy car or toy truck. Nice strong plank here. And do these nice plank tucks. We can still do the same modifications. We can do one leg at a time. And we're gonna work all these transverse abdominals, those deep, deep core muscles that everybody loves. Okay. Closing out today, low intensity cardio again. Equipment of choice is the Stairmaster. So goal, 20 to 30 minute sessions. 30 minutes is a lot on this thing. So we can do it. Another thing is I try not to hold on to the handles. I mean, obviously they're here for safety. However, we don't want to see you doing this. Lean in, right? We don't want to use them. So ideally, we're going for heart rate, right? Around that 65% of your max heart rate output. So for me on this machine, I'm at about a level 4, and that allows me to be engaged, supporting myself, supporting my own body for the full duration. This is why it is important though to monitor kind of your individual output, because every machine is going to be a little bit different. And people will ask me like, what level should I be doing on the Stairmaster? I'm like, what level? You know, I don't know how much your output is. So it's very individualized per person basis. So find the level that works for you to be able to be in that zone, that heart rate zone for the duration of that full session. So we train delts, triceps, core and cardio today. Another successful workout. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week.